2024. The time is 12 p.m. And we're going to go ahead and start with a roll call. Here. 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 Present. Now please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation by Luis.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, as we go through each day, bring the truth of your word to our minds and help us to apply your wisdom to our decisions. Thank you for allowing us to be here on another day and to start the week with big news and great plans. We ask you to bless our city, and we pray for positive outcomes for all concerned. Amen.
Amen. We're going to continue with the Director's Administrative Report. It's all yours, Luis.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, welcome. We do have some special guests with us today, but I'd like to get started with a couple of items. So we have a new board member. I wanted to introduce a few people here today. So we have a brand new board member, Mr. Robert Garza is here with us today. It's his first meeting, so we just want to give him a nice welcome to the Bridge Board of Directors. Robert, anything you would like to say? You're more than welcome to.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Another line item real quick, I wanted to introduce everybody to Oscar Duenas. Oscar Duenas is our new International Business Development Manager, and he's here with us today. He is his first meeting. So I had told him if he wanted to come up here, just say about it, introduce himself so we can know who he is.
Good afternoon, everyone. Like Luis mentioned, my name is Oscar Duenas, and this is my second week at the Pharr Bridge, and I really appreciated the opportunity for me to be here, and I thank the team for being such a supporting team. If you have any questions or anything like that, I'm always free to help you out, guys, and if whatever you guys need, I'm here to help out. Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you, Oscar. Welcome.
Thank you, Oscar. And finally, I'd like to introduce, so this year, the city of Pharr put out a advertisement for internships for the entire city, for all departments, and we were lucky enough to get also an intern for the next 4 weeks. She's not going to be with us for the entire 4 weeks. She's going to be 2 weeks at the bridge. This is her final week, and then she starts next week, if I'm not mistaken, with our media department with Yuri Gonzalez. So I'd like to invite her. Her name is Samantha Delgadillo. Close relationship to Mr. Delgadillo. And she's going to come up here and just talk to you about her experience so far and what she's learned and what she's going to be going for in the future with her studies. Samantha?
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Samantha Delgadillo, and I'm an incoming sophomore at Texas A&M University. And as Mr. Basan mentioned, I'm currently in the City of Pharr internship 4-week program. So these past 2 weeks, I've been at the Pharr International Bridge, and I will continue with the media department. I just wanted to kind of take a moment and really thank the City of Pharr for this amazing opportunity. I feel in such little time that I've been at the bridge, I've learned a lot, and I've really gained a lot of knowledge in what it is and every aspect of it. And I also want to thank our bridge director, Mr. Luis Pasan, for giving me the opportunity to intern over there, and the rest of the bridge staff for being so welcoming. Like I've said, I've really learned a lot, and I really appreciate them taking me in. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Wait, Samantha.
Wait, he's got a question for you.
So, I guess out of all the interns, you're the only one that went to the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to tell the ones that are entering right now and the ones that might come in the future why they should go to the bridge, since you were the only one that picked it, and you probably a sample of what some of our people in the city here that might know we have a bridge, but they don't know what it does or what it does to the city. So what do you recommend for some of our future interns?
Well, I will say that I do not think that a lot of people in our community know about what the bridge is. I obviously grew up very close, knowing what the bridge is, aside from, you being chairman. We've always been in the world of transporting my grandpa, my dad. I've always kind of known that world, so, it was nothing new for me to go. But I will say that once I got there, I realized that there was just more to it than, having trailers pass through the border. I learned that the bridge does generate a majority of the money that the city brings in. And, I've been working with making some payments and realized that, it actually, takes a lot and it brings in a lot of money, and there's more to just going back and forth. We are able to have trade and commerce and different things like that because of the bridge. And I just see that we're going to continue growing, especially with the expansion that we're going to have very soon enough, hopefully starting this year. So I'm really excited. But I definitely think that the bridge is such a great place to enter, and especially where we live. Mexico is a very big part of why we are the community that we are. And I think it's important that each intern or just anyone in general is informed about each aspect that it does.
All right. Thank you, Sammy.
She's hired. Very well said. Now, one of the things we were discussing earlier with her, we were giving the rundown of the presentation and talking about the greater sum of things, right? So one of the things, as we know, we are Team Pharr. It's not just the bridge. We're part of that larger sum, which is the city of Pharr, and everything that the city of Pharr has to offer, from the leadership to the management to us as directors and the support staff and everybody else, and how we collaborate, how we communicate, and how we get the job done. At the end of the day, we all speak the same language because we're all passionate about what we do, and those are some of the biggest takeaways that Samantha is taking with her on her next steps. But Samantha, you have the door open at the bridge. If you'd like to come back at another time to visit with us, siempre tienes la puerta abierta, okay? Gracias por todo. She's been a great sport. She's been doing a great job.
Thank you.
So moving on to our crossings and revenues report for May 2024. So we go to slide number 2. On slide number 2, this is for all vehicle crossings, all bridge crossings, totaled 107,554 in May. That's a decrease of 4,298 vehicles, or minus 3.84% decrease during the same time period last fiscal year. We go to slide number 3. This is for car crossings only. Car crossings totaled 47, and mind you, this is only southbound, right? Car crossings totaled 47,229,000 in May. That's an increase of 6,198 cars, or 15.11% increase during the same time period last fiscal year. We move on to slide number 4, southbound car crossing comparisons. This is to other bridges. And as you can see, we have a nice array, a big lineup of all the bridges. We'll get started, and we're just going to concentrate on the percentage at this time, and we can even talk about the daily average if it's necessary. So the bridges for Gateway Veterans Free Trade, this is all for Brownsville. Basically no change, 0%, and their daily average is 9,761. This is again cars. When you look at Del Rio, they're up 5%. Their daily average is about 5,100 cars. Donna's is up by 20%, almost 21% actually, and they are up. Daily average is 2,260. Eagle Pass is no change, and their daily average is 8,796. Isleta Zaragoza in El Paso, they are up by 12%, 8,960. Stanton Lerdo in El Paso as well is down by 22%, and that's the average of 5,069. So total for El Paso is minus 3%, daily average of 14,000. When we look at La Laredo Bridge, they are up 6%, or over 14,000 daily average. McAllen Hidalgo, they are up 11%, average of 9,000 plus. Anzalduas is up 22%, and it's an average of 436 for Anzalduas. So total for McAllen Anzalduas submission, 15% up, 13,000 cars daily average. When you look at Pharr, we're up again 15.11%, and with a daily average of 1,500, just right over 1,500 cars. Progreso is up 17%, 1,600 cars daily average, and Roma.
It's 5.48.
What's that?
5.48 in Roma. For some reason, it didn't do it.
Okay, so we have an error there. 5.48 in Roma. So now we jump to the northbound, to the southbound truck crossings. Slide number 5 here. So slide number 5 totaled 60,325 in May. That's a decrease of 10,496 trucks, or minus 14.82% decrease during the same time period last fiscal year. Southbound truck comparisons, again, we go through all these bridges. If you look at Ansalduas, they're up 20%, daily average of 159. Veterans Los Tomates in Brownsville is up 19%, daily average of 801. Free Trade Los Indios also in Brownsville, 70% up with a daily average of 64 trucks. Del Rio is under by 3% with a daily average of 211 trucks. Eagle Pass is up 16% with a daily average of 758. Isleta Zaragoza in El Paso is down by 1% with a daily average of just over 1,900 trucks. Laredo is up 3% with a daily average of 8,812. Pharr is down 15% with a daily average of 2,000, just over 2,000 trucks daily. Progreso is up 40% with 166 trucks daily. And Roma, again, 10%. Any questions?
No.
So we move on to slide number 7. Northbound trucks totaled 62,212 in May. That's a decrease of 4,140 trucks, or minus 6.24% decrease during the same time period last fiscal year. So when you break it down, that's basically 42,998 full trucks. That's 19,021 empty trucks. And a further breakdown shows that 19,031 of those full trucks were ag trucks, which represents 31% of the produce imports in that month for that period. We go to slide number 8. This is a combination of both northbound and southbound trucks. Combined total 122,537 for the month of May. That's a decrease of 14,636, or minus 10.67% decrease over the same time period last fiscal year. Then we go to the breakdown of the southbound truck crossings here in Pharr and the comparisons by axle. You're going to see quite an anomaly there for the special crossings for 8,312. What that means, when we went up in the toll increase back in May the 4th for the hazmat, we had to reconfigure the system, and the way it's reconfigured is by special crossings. So that includes hazmat trucks, 4 axles, 5 axles, and 6 axles. So that's why you see such a large number for the special crossings for this time period. And then the total revenues, on the revenue side, they totaled $2,016,526 for May, and that's an increase of $350,580, or 21.04% increase over the same time period last fiscal year.
With a 14%.
That concludes my crossings and revenues report.
You had an increase in revenue with a 14% loss of
Correct.
crossings.
21%. 21% increase.
Increase. You have any questions?
Okay, so we move on to the next item, which is item 2B, Finance Report for May 2024. We do have Jameson Merrick. He is our interim finance director for the city of Pharr, but we will have Eddie Gutierrez, our finance analyst, giving you the report for May.
Good afternoon, board members, city management. For the record, Eddie Gutierrez with Bluestone Capital Solutions, financial analyst for the bridge. Starting off with the financials, do we have them here? There it is. So the financial report is through May, fiscal year 2024. As you can see, we'll talk first about the bridge revenues. The bridge revenues consisted, the bridge total revenues were $15,476,581. 83% of them consisted from the toll collections, which is about $12,895,000. And then you had about 1%, which consisted of the credit card charges. And then you had the proceeds from the bonds. And then you have also the peso exchange and the rental income. And then the last one there is the proceeds from the debt of the bond that we have that's coming in. That was $1,650,000, and then you have some other miscellaneous items also in there. So total revenues was $15,476,581. The total operating expenses was $3,000,000. $791,960. 35% of that consisted of the debt service that we have right now of $1,316,000. And then you have the about 26% consisted of personnel, and then you have the contractual services of about 15%, and then the other, where it says other, you have in there you have utilities, you have other equipment, rental equipment in there, so it's a couple of items that are all together in one. So total operating expenses, $3,791,960. And then when we look at toll collections just by themselves and compare that to our budgeted, for the budget that we had, budgeted year to date, we have 12,241,000. That is, we're up actual by about a little over 5%, which is we're at 12,895,000. And then when we compare that to the same time last year, we're actually up about a little over 9% on that. So last year we were at 11,809,000, and so we've done pretty well comparing that to the previous years. As far as for benchmarking in our operations, we're supposed to be at about 67%. Right now, we actually spent 55% through the end of May. You're going to start seeing a lot of that gray fill up because as the yellow indicates that they're spending. So as we get closer towards the end of the year, you're going to see a lot of that fill up with a lot of the yellow. So, but we're doing well as far as benchmarking. We've actually spent 55. I know there's some adjustments that are going to be proposed. But actually, all we're doing fairly well as far as compared to budget on the operating expenses. As far as our debt service, this is our amortization of our debt service that we have for the year, fiscal year 2024 is $4,211,000. We're completed basically with DAP 15. We're working on DAP 16 now, and then the bridge expansion. So we still have a lot of funds that are actually getting us some proceeds on the interest income that we get. So. And that concludes my presentation on the financial side of it. Any questions on that part of it before I move on to the southbound recapture rate? Just for the southbound recapture rate, I just want to go back and let, our new board member, Mr. Garza, we have, what we do is we compare the truck crossings that are going northbound and what we're recapturing going southbound. So we took a look at historically what we've done, and over the periods of years, we've been at 99%. So that means that we're capturing 99% of the trucks that are going northbound. We're capturing 99% of those coming back. So you can see how we've done over the years. During the COVID period, we did have we were getting actually a little bit more coming back southbound, and then we're back to about 98% for the average for the year. If you look at it for fiscal year 2024, this is where we're at right now. We did have a couple of months where we're recapturing more. But we're at 97% right now, so we're right where we were in the previous years. And that concludes my financial presentation. Any questions at this time?
There's a quick question on the budget workshops, Luis, Eddie, Jameson. Are we going to be making adjustments to the actual budget as you guys are going through your workshops, or?
Yes, sir. So just to address that real quick, we had our budget retreat last week on Thursday and Friday. So we got really far ahead of the game when it comes to the budget. I think we're scheduled for the budget workshop itself sometime in August, September. So yeah, we're going to be probably making either a 4 or 5% change on that. We still don't know. We're still looking at the numbers. There's more expenses this year because of the new toll system. We were just talking about it right now. And obviously there are some other capital improvement projects that we're going to be looking at. Plus we have to consider what any potential change orders as we start getting ready to build this bridge and our DAP 16 project. So we'll address those matters more accordingly once we get closer. But we are going to be making some adjustments as needed.
Any other questions for Eddie? No.
All right, thank you.
Eddie.
Okay, up next, item 2C, our engineer's report. So we have Ruben Alfaro, our city engineer, to give you the latest and the greatest on the bridge projects that we have coming up with some great news.
Good afternoon, Chairman, members of the board. Ruben Alfaro, city engineer for the record. Quick updates on the projects. Starting with DAP 15, again, like last time, the project is completed. The prime contractor is submitting all the closeout documents. We should be taking this to commission this upcoming one or the next one in July. So this will be closed out before any of the other projects get started. DAP 16, we rejected the original bid as was discussed before. We have the bid opening for the rebid tomorrow. So we're hoping to get at least 3 bidders for this project, which is good news. The previous bid, we only got 1, so having those 3 bidders will allow us to have better competition. So once that's received, we'll perform a bid analysis on the rebid, and we'll submit a letter of recommendation to TxDOT. We're looking into starting construction late September or October, somewhere around there. And that's all in DAP 16. On the International Bridge expansion, as you all know, we opened bids on April 30th. We received 5 bids. We did a bid analysis, and we recommended to TxDOT the award to IOC company in the amount of $47 million. Yesterday at City Commission, the project was awarded to IOC. So we'll begin with the process of the pre-construction and getting them the notice to proceed so they can start building the bridge. We're in the final processes of obtaining the permit with the U.S. Coast Guard and the Irrigation District, so that's being finalized, as well as the easements that are required for the overhead sign bridge. So everything is looking clear and ready to go for this project to start, and we're very excited to get this going. Another project that has come up as well that affects the bridge is the commercial vehicle parking area. This is a parking area in Juniper by Military Highway and Veterans on that area. As you can see there on the image, this is gonna bring 277 parking spots for trucks to hopefully get them out of the streets and get them to a place where they can be safely parked. We had a bid opening on May 30th. We received a total of 6 bids for this project. We have completed a bid analysis, and we should be submitting the recommendation to award today to TxDOT. Once they concur with the recommendation, we'll take it to commission as well to get awarded. So as you see, all these projects are getting to the near end of the design process and the bidding process, and we're getting them to construction. So we're very excited about what's coming to the bridge. And that's all I have for today.
So when are you starting? When are you starting the construction?
The bridge? Late July, August. That's the hope. We need to have that pre-construction meeting with the contractor and see when they're able to mobilize. But usually the maximum amount they have to mobilize is 90 days. We're hoping to shorten that time frame so they can get there as soon as possible.
The Mexican side is at the river already.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Ruben, any meeting we go to, that's the only, they don't care about anything else. They just that. So we're gonna start posting your email on all those presentations.
Yes, you can. I'll take the heat. Yes.
And your social media.
No, they're excited. No, they're
You gotta
excited.
tag
They're
on the
excited.
weekend, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ruben.
Thank you, Ruben. Just to add to that real quick, so one of the reasons why we're bringing you that truck parking, because aside from the bridge expansion, which everybody is excited about and been asking about for years now, is truck parking. So as we know that when we started these plans for this particular truck parking, we were already discussing plans for the next truck parking area, because that's only 20 acres. It's right under 100, under 300 truck parking spaces. So right now there's been a lot of conversation in the background about this, and there are some potential, there's gonna be some potential out there for possibly, this is not out there yet, but possibly some public-private partnerships to be able to get them done faster. It took a little bit longer than we wanted for this project to get off the ground. It's been several years since we put the plans in motion, but we're finally I think we're starting in August, right? Construction for the parking, and it's gonna be about a 12-month process to get it built out. So again, going forward, I think we're gonna have start having some discussions at the high-level discussions to see potential public-private partnerships to get these things off the ground, because we are gonna need, once we have the bridge expansion, once we have DAP 15, DAP 16, you know, again, the sky's the limit when it comes to the growth that we're going to be experiencing. Everybody's waiting for the second span. So we're going to be bringing back a lot of those numbers, but we need to have the space to park them, the space to service them, and a lot of that comes also with warehousing, distribution, and things of that nature that we're also collaborating on with our Economic Development Corporation. So more to come. Just wanted to, you know, give you a quick brief on that. And on the bridge expansion, yes, so Mexico, I mean, if you look at what they've done so far, they're pretty much done. I think by August, they should be almost 100% complete. It's magnificent to witness the structure as it's been, you know, being built out in the last few months, just how much they've gained, you know, in 4 or 5 months alone. but they did start back in May of 2023. Again, it's a sight to be seen, and we can't wait. We're very excited. We're very excited for that, along with our customers, of course.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
On the truck parking, do you know if it's gonna be public, private, or how is it gonna be? Is it gonna be
So
lighted?
this one is city. It's run by the city. Yeah. So it's a public,
So it's gonna be for
like the bridge.
free parking?
I don't think it's going to be free parking, though. We're working on an analysis for some parking fees. We're working on that. Because, again, at the end of the day, it's the amenities. We're talking to Idle Air as well. Idle Air provides those, the ability to, it's for sustainability purposes where you're able to unplug your truck, turn it off. There's no emissions going into the environment. You're able to plug in, get your cable TV, your Wi-Fi, and you get your air conditioning without the truck running emissions. So we're looking at that possibility as well, and the possibility of a grant to be able to obtain that as well, just to add to the amenities. So real quick, I'm going to kind of jump around here real quick because the DAP 15, so great news again, fantastic news. So finally, DAP 15 ribbon cutting ceremony. We're scheduled for the 9th of July for this ribbon cutting. It's not a grand opening. Why is it not a grand opening? Because, again, as we've been talking about, TxDOT is not ready yet. BSIF, Border Safety Inspection Facility, is being phased out. Last time that I reached out to them, which was about a week, 2 weeks ago, they said they have some punch list items, and it could take several months. So I reached out to Cynthia Garza at the city to find out if we can make that big push to get us there sooner than later because, again, we're doing the ribbon cutting already on July the 9th. So we want to get started. I know that CBP is excited to get started, but we need TxDOT to be on board with us so we can open up those second exits or the second BSIF exit. So again, everybody's invited. Northbound lanes, northbound entries and exits, DAP 15, July the 9th at 10 a.m. out there by the bridge. We're working, we have a meeting this week with CBP to coordinate the logistics of it and where we're going to be placing everything. So more to come on that as well. And then the next one is our groundbreaking ceremony. As Ruben said, we're finally going to start construction of the bridge expansion, but we're going to make a bigger impact. Why? Because it's not just the bridge expansion. It's our DAP 16 project as well. So we're going to be doing a dual ceremony for the bridge expansion, the dock expansion phases, and the Ag Lab and Training Center. This is going to take place on Wednesday, August the 14th, over there at the bridge as well. We'll find the location. We're going to have to coordinate that with CBP and GSA as well, but that's starting at 11 a.m., and we're planning on going big. If you guys were there for the groundbreaking for the Mexico side, which we hosted on U.S. soil. That was a huge event. We invited all our federal partners, our state, all the elected officials that have been, instrumental in helping us through the process, through the lobbying efforts, our congressmen, our senators, they were all there. So we're excited about bringing another big event to the city of Pharr to finally do a groundbreaking for the bridge expansion. Any questions on either one of these? Okay, we'll go back real quick. Just a couple of line items. So our Bridge Connect trade session, it's on strengthening organic enforcement and foreign supplier verification. This is going to be taking place tomorrow, Thursday, the 20th, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. That's going to be at the DRC, correct? Yeah, so right now we're averaging a good 50 to 60 participants at some of these events. So again, this is free to the trade community, free to our customers, free to our future customers and clients, and basically just giving them value for the bridge, from the bridge, right? It's a value-added proposition on behalf of the bridge, and we welcome anybody that wants to be more informed on these two issues that are affecting trade as a whole. And I believe that's it, right? Okay. Anything else? Any questions, concerns? That concludes my Director's Administrative Report.
All right. So we'll move to the administrative section, and we need approval of the minutes for May 15, 2024. We need a motion.
A motion?
A motion by Mr. Martinez,
Second?
second by Mr. Campero. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Then we have line item B, discussion and action, if any, on the Southeast Produce Council membership renewal for 750 We need a motion.
Motion?
This is the second year.
Second. We have a motion by Mr. Martinez, second by Mr. Beas. All in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
I'll discuss this one, item
Okay.
3D, item 3C, and item 3D. I have something to add to that.
Okay. And discussion and action, if any, on International Bridge Tunnel and Turnpike Association, IBTTA membership.
So yes, for this one, the IBTTA, I mentioned it at the last meeting we hosted. Back in May, we attended the IBTTA for the first time. I know Dr. Freeland was there with us, along with Alex Velasquez from our IT department. And as I mentioned last time, the reason why we were there is because we're upgrading our toll system. So if there couldn't be greater news aside from the toll, from the bridge, from the DAP projects and the truck parking, we're also improving our toll collection system. Now, it's not just gonna be your, run-of-the-mill, toll collection system. It's gonna have a lot of technology components, some AI capabilities and things of that nature. And Alex at IT and Jose, our IT director, Jose Peña, are leading the charge when it comes to that. We've been having very productive meetings here in the last few weeks with some of these vendors that we met at IBTTA. So there's been a lot of follow-up because at the end of the day, again, we want to bring a better product, a more efficient product for our customers. We were talking earlier, I was talking to Jameson about the budget for this. This year we do have $1.5 million for the toll system itself, but we know, that's why I mentioned that some of the adjustments, we know it's gonna cost us a little bit more if we want the best for our customers. And again, I can't stress enough about the technology and more importantly, the AI capabilities that we're gonna be able to host here. I don't wanna give all the secrets away, but we're working through it right now. We're hoping to get everything squared away as far as the toll collection system proposals, just on the toll operating system proposals by the end of this month. And then next month in July, we should have everything else lined up and have already discussed it with leadership so that we can make the right decisions for our customers going forward. But just some news that I wanted to share on that. So that's why one of the reasons we want to join is because we also want to participate. It's called the International Bridge, Tunnel, and Turnpike Association, yet there's no International Bridge representation in this association. So we were there for 2-3 days, great show, great event, but we want to be there next year. And once we get this thing lined up, once we get our new toll system, once we get everything squared away the way we want it, the way it's gonna work best for our customers, we wanna go back and tell our story and talk about best practices and discuss some of the takeaways. Because again, to us, that's also a marketing tool. We join different associations for different reasons. We were talking with Robert Garza earlier, and his uncle was part of the Agentes Aduanales de Reynosa who are here today. Que en paz descanse, Cipriano Garza. And we were talking about what else can we do at the bridge? What else can we offer? What else can we bring to the picture, right? And this is just some of what we want to accomplish here in the years ahead, right? So that one is $8,127. It's a pricey investment, but we think it's going to be worthwhile in the long term.
Where are their offices?
Their offices are in Atlanta, I think. I think they're in Atlanta. I'll double check on that. I think they're in Atlanta.
We need a motion.
A motion?
Motion by Mr. Martinez. Second by Mr. Beas. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. And I just want to add to what Luis was just saying about this association, that this would be another association where the bridge is pioneering on being a member.
Correct.
Just
We'll be
like
the
we did
first.
with CADEM and a lot of the produce industries.
So yeah, and again, I want to thank Via Plus because they were the ones that invited us. Via Plus are our back office operators. They've been helping us through this process, through the challenges of obtaining a new toll system. But I also want to thank Dr. Friedland and Alex because I know they were there and they were also able to bring back a lot of knowledge that's not only going to be helpful for the bridge but also for other departments. So thank you again.
We'll go to line item D.
Luis, do you know, like, this association and also on the toll, the new system you're gonna put, you need to check to see how they're compatible with other systems. It's a really,
That's exactly what we're doing.
it's
Yes.
it's a big pain.
So there was companies out there. I personally visited with one company who are supposed to be turnkey. They're supposed to do it all. They can do it all, but we know for a fact that there's a lot of components out there that don't necessarily mesh with them, as an example, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we're talking to different vendors, ensuring when we have these meetings, these virtual conversations, those are the questions we're asking. Can you do this in the future? Can you integrate Way in Motion? Can you work with this company? Can you work with that company? Tell us your success stories. Is there a working model in another international bridge? Is there a working model in a state highway or federal highway? So those are the things we're asking. We want to be fully modular and it's integratable.
Great. That's just the point I wanted to make.
Obviously, if anybody here has any specifics that we might not be aware of or any real specific details, please let us know so that we can ask those questions as well.
Well, it's great that you're doing that association, because I mean the world's getting multi countries, multi states, and so
Absolutely.
you need to be communicating.
No, it's great.
And it's a big pain to get like an account at each bridge. Make sure every account, each toll road has a different account. No?
So we've already started also some kick-started some conversations about future interoperability as well.
And now that Beto brought that up, and I'm gonna go back to the parking. You know, most of these drivers, when they're looking for parking, they go through apps. And, you know, they go through the apps at Love's, they go through the apps at whatever it is the parking area uses.
Yeah.
And that's how they find the parking and they reserve it and pay on it online. And obviously you gotta have all the payment, you know, Cash App, card, EFS, ComCheck, just depending what the company uses. But if you're gonna do the parking and you're gonna cater to that, maybe throughout this association you can find a system that helps with all that.
So with all of this, yes. So I keep looking over there because I think Alex is there, but he's not. He's not in the meeting. So Alex is going to help us. His team, Jose Peña's team, is going to help us spearhead some type of an app. This app will not just be to measure wait times accurately, but also for things such as parking, future forecasting traffic congestion. There's a lot of components to it. There's a lot of things that we're going to be able to do.
But I think what Beto was trying to tell you is that we don't want to create our own stuff if there's something already out there that works that we can partner with.
Absolutely.
And that is what the industry
Industry standards.
considers already a standard or facilitated. Like, you don't want to make it more complicated to whoever's going to use it. So if there's already a system that's working, instead of trying to reinvent the wheel,
So
let's just attach what we're trying to do to something.
absolutely.
Like
So
that.
what we've been finding out with these meetings again is that there is no one company or no one vendor that can do everything that we're asking. So that's why I think it's going to be crucial for IT to also, integrate or come in there and fix whatever issues we might see with their systems, right? Unless there's somebody that we haven't talked to out there that can do it all. But it's very difficult. There are some standard apps out there. There are some standardization deals that we can, gain from or what do you call it, come on board with. But at the end of the day, I think we're going to have to eventually not create our own specifically, but add to whatever's out there.
Become a link of it.
Sometime
Whatever is the most popular.
And a lot of the stuff is cloud-based now. A lot of the stuff, on the technology side is cloud-based. We have our reservations about stuff like that. So that's where, again, we need to have more control. It's got to be secure. These are our accounts as well, So at the end of the day, it needs to combine all these elements into one to make it a safe environment for all our customers.
Any other questions or comments?
Thank you, Luis.
You bet. Yes, sir.
All right, so now we go to line item D, which is discussion and action, if any, on Asociación de Agentes Aduanales de Reynosa, sponsorship for SACOS for their annual event. Sponsorship is $8,000.
So I have some folks here. We invited them just to kind of give you a brief on this. So as you know, real quick, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, we've been sponsoring this for several years now, and they'll talk a little bit more about it. Back in 2017, this is how we got our foot in the door with CAREM. CAREM is the National Confederation, National Association for Customs Brokers. And we were the first bridge, speaking of being the first ones, we were the first bridge to come on board with CAREM and go to their National Association conference and participate as a guest speaker. That brought back a lot of value to us, and we also gained customers because of that. So we haven't stopped then, but it was because of the Agentes Aduanales de Reynosa that got us in the door. The first year it was tough. I sent a letter to the president of the National Association. He wouldn't budge because we're not a customs broker. We're an international bridge. But by way of these gentlemen that are going to be here today, and I'll mention their names right now, we were able to start with this small sponsorship, and that took us to the next level. So our first year at CAREM was back in 2018. So we're looking, this year we're going back. We've been going back every year. Last year, nos quedaron a deber, como dicen el año pasado, un poquito los de Karen porque no se alinearon bien las cosas, tenían gente diferente trabajando el evento. But this year, they gave us a really good discount. The board already approved that, so we're going to be going the 10th through the 12th of July of this year to that conference, and we're going to be participating. So with that, I'll invite Mr. José Luis García. He is the new president for the ARAC, which is the Asociación de Agentes Aduanales de Reynosa. And we'll also invite Mr. Jesus, otherwise known as Chuy Barrera, who is the executive director. And we've been meeting with them, and they have also some news they want to share with you. Thank you.
Buenos días, nuevamente pues me presento con ustedes, agente aduanal José Luis García, recientemente designado presidente de la Asociación de Agentes Aduanales de Reynosa. En representación de ellos pues les mandamos un cálido saludo de parte de todos y sobre todo muy agradecidos con ustedes por todo el apoyo que hemos recibido de parte del director del puente y de todo su equipo. Porque los problemas que tenemos en el flujo comercial, pues son problemas de todos, son problemas con el fin de asegurar siempre que el negocio crezca. Ahorita Luis acaba de mencionar su participación ya desde hace 6, 7 años en el Congreso de Agentes Aduanales, que es un evento pues importante donde conglomera a agentes aduanales, asociaciones de las diferentes partes del país. Fueron pioneros y desde mi punto de vista con un trabajo y una presentación muy profesional dentro del Congreso han sabido ganarse, pues considero yo, mucha aceptación y mucha clientela, que eso es lo que nos interesa. Estamos muy complacidos también con la cuestión relacionada con la ampliación del puente. Nuestro competidor principal no es aquí los puentes que tenemos a los lados, es la ciudad de Laredo. El puente de Laredo, ese es nuestro principal competidor y siempre tratamos de vender la plaza, tratamos de asegurar que aquellos clientes que en un momento dado quieran cruzar por Nuevo Laredo, que los tiempos de espera, los tiempos de cruce son muy largos, muy grandes, buscamos que los clientes se vengan para acá. Con la ampliación del puente, con los trabajos de remodelación, inclusive que se están haciendo en lo que nosotros llamamos la ruta fiscal, en el lado mexicano, northbound, pues también trabajos muy buenos, en el cual consideramos que ya que en estos próximos meses queden concluidos, si bien es cierto que ahorita nos están causando ciertos problemas y ciertas incomodidades o inconvenientes en cuanto a las filas, la situación es de que una vez que queden concluidos, pues va a ser de gran beneficio para todo lo que es el comercio internacional. Hablando nuevamente de la comunicación que nosotros tenemos con las autoridades, con la gente del puente de Pharr, también hemos pues revisado algunos detalles, algunos problemas que tenemos y siempre muy complacidos con el apoyo por parte de ustedes. Por ejemplo, estamos hablando de comunicación, una comunicación directa. Cuando tenemos problemas de contingencia en el lado mexicano, en ocasiones también en el lado americano, en el puente también, aduanas americanas presentan algunos detalles, pues siempre debemos de estar en comunicación, inclusive donde estamos viendo la posibilidad ya de tener algunos radios directos de comunicación con el fin de pues asegurar que siempre ese libre tránsito sea lo mejor eficiente posible o lo más eficiente posible. Nuevamente estoy a sus órdenes. Algunos de ustedes ya había tenido oportunidad de conocerlos a través de consejos directivos de la asociación anteriores. Tengo 10 meses apenas como presidente de la Asociación de Agentes Aduanales. Estamos a su disposición y estamos para servirles cuando ustedes así lo requieran. Debemos de trabajar en conjunto por el bien de Reynosa y Pharr. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias, Inge.
Gracias, muchas gracias. Gracias de nuevo, como siempre, con mucho apoyo y mucho esfuerzo, pues hemos logrado lo que logrado hasta hoy en día y pues lo que sigue. Lo que él hablaba, what he was talking about, the radios. So this is something that in the past, yes, radios, we all know radios. Our emergency services carry the radios, but they're quite expensive, you know, and due to certain issues in Mexico, we're not able to have those types of radios in Mexico. So what we did back in February, we invited Agentes Aduanales de Reynosa, we invited certain customers, more than anything on the manufacturing side. I know that our chairman was there. I know that our vice chairman were there at this meeting. We invited the Aduana, we invited CBP, we invited all the impact players. They play a key role in the communication because for the past few months, or even in the last years or so, there's never been a direct line of communication. And there's always been a misunderstanding of who do we call if traffic is backed up, if Mexico wants to get a hold of somebody. So we came up with the idea that we would have this. So luckily for us, our IT department said, look, there's these radios. They're basically like the old Nextel phones, but it's through T-Mobile. So right now we're just calling it, you know, as a working title, Clave. And Clave will be this communication tool that we have. We've already designated 10 people with these small components, these small communication systems, and IT has ordered them, and we're just waiting for their arrival so that we can give them to the appropriate representatives of each one of these associations and folks that are helping us with, more than anything, again, something that might happen on the bridge, let's say a small fender bender accident, you know, traffic congestion issues. Sometimes, you know, people ask questions, when is the bridge open? You know, even though the information is out there. So we want to be able to have that at our fingertips without, you know, using WhatsApp and using all these other, you know, what I consider non-professional ways of communication. It just gives us a direct line. And again, key people, and we've already assigned these radios to these people. In the future, as we see fit, we will assign more if needed. But so far, the people that I mentioned, those associations, those groups, those are the folks that are going to get them. Gracias de nuevo, José Luis. Y Chuy también por todo tu apoyo.
Gracias.
All right, so we need a motion to approve.
A motion?
A motion by Mr. Martinez,
I second it.
second by Mr. Campero. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. If there's nothing else, we just need a motion to adjourn.
Motion?
Motion by Mr. Martinez, second by Mr. Veas. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, muchas gracias. Thank you all very much.